Alright, this is part 2 of a look at a British 24-hour ration pack, and it's menu number 3, packaged in August of 2015. And I should mention that this ration was sent to me by foreignmre.com to review. Foreignmre.com is a website where you can buy international rations. You can go to the site to check out what they currently have in stock, and keep in mind that they offer free shipping to US addresses. In part 1, we did an overview of the ration, opened it up, checked out everything that was inside, and reviewed one meal. And as you can see, there's still a lot of food left over after one meal. So we're going to split this up into 2 more meals. This is basically a breakfast, and this will basically be a dinner. But as I always say with 24-hour rations, you can split it up however you want or however the situation dictates. In addition to all this food, we also have some leftover materials too. We have the small bottle of Tabasco sauce, which I didn't need to use in the first meal. We have 2 large alcohol-free antibacterial wipes, some water purification tablets, a large package of tissues, and some weatherproof matches with a striker in a sealed bag. The first meal in this review, which I'm going to refer to as breakfast, includes pork sausages and beans and tomato sauce, a caramel cereal bar, a tropical beverage-based powder drink, the pouch of Fruit Explosion mixed fruit puree, 1 instant coffee and 1 tea with cream and sugar, some lime-flavored boiled sweets, and a piece of dental gum. And the final meal is going to include chicken and yellow curry with rice, sticky toffee pudding, hot chocolate-flavored drink mix, cola-flavored drink powder mix, another instant coffee with cream and sugar, some more lime-flavored boiled sweets, and another piece of dental gum. The one change I made in this from part 1 was I decided to put the peanuts with the dinner instead of with the breakfast. So let's go ahead and put these pouches into some hot water. The sticky toffee pudding, from what I can see, it's supposed to be eaten hot. I don't see any reason why I couldn't eat it cold, but since from what I've seen in comments on other videos, it's supposed to be hot, I'm going to put all 3 of these into some hot water and check everything else out. I'm going to start off with the beverage powder type tropical. As I mentioned in part 1, you not only get a lot of drink mixes, as you would expect in a 24-hour ration, but they're also pretty generous with how much these actually make. Most of them you're supposed to mix with 500 mils of water. And I'm glad I took a look at this one because this one is actually 375 mils, so glad I didn't put the 500 in there. It's a different kind of smell coming off of there. It's not like what you expect from like a US type Kool-Aid, sort of a tropical punch. It definitely smells tropical. It smells kind of like pineapples and coconuts. Give that a good stir. Also a different color than you expect from a tropical punch, at least in the US. And it looks like pineapple juice. I don't see any specific fruits mentioned in here. The ingredients list is it's kind of hard to read. And since we're on the topic of beverages, I might as well go ahead and make up the coffee and tea. I'm going to go ahead and add the sugar and creamer to the coffee. There's some big grains in here. Coffee smells good. There isn't a heck of a lot to eat in this meal the way I planned it out, so here's the cereal bar. This is the Best Buy of August 24th, 2018. It smells like your standard chewy granola bar. It's quite soft. And it's got raisins in it, so I guess it's an oatmeal, even though it's a caramel cereal bar, I guess it's oatmeal and raisin. And then this fruit explosion. This seems to be, the way this package is, seems to be more of a drink than anything, and it's, despite being a very commercial looking thing, it's pretty convenient to have something that you can just crack open and drink right out of the pouch, instead of having to mix it up. It also stands up on its own too. This one, they have different flavors, and apparently the cap tells you which flavor it is. This one is apple, kiwi, and passion. This is actually produced in Belgium. And what I'm going to do, since it is a review, after I just said that this is a very convenient thing to have out in the field and just squeeze it right out of here and drink it right out of this, I'm going to go ahead and put some in here, like it's applesauce, just so we can get a good look at it. And that just leaves us with our 5 boiled sweets for the meal. Basically we had 15 for the day, so I split up 5 for each meal, and the dental gum. And all that leaves us with is our generous portion, 300 grams of pork sausages and beans and tomato sauce. And it is worth mentioning that the British rations do not come with anything to heat them up with. There's no flameless ration heater on them or a portable stove. The only thing they do come with is these matches with a striker, but I believe that British soldiers are issued a small stove. Yeah, so this was in hot water, so it's quite hot. There are the tear notches. You can see the franks and beans in there. And as was the case with the Thai-style chicken soup, 300 grams is quite a bit of food, a little more than you get in an MRE entree, and it really does fill up the tray compartment. Alright, that's a pretty generous portion for a breakfast entree. See here we have these little sausages, which are basically like little mini hot dogs, little frankfurts, and some beans in a tomato sauce. Pretty simple. According to the ingredients, it looks like 28% of this meal is pea beans and 26% is pork sausages. And a bunch of other ingredients to make up tomato sauce. So let's see, these are pretty soft. It's kind of, as far as a texture of breaking into it, it kind of reminds me of like a Vienna sausage or like the old frankfurters you would find in old brown bag MREs. Hopefully it's going to taste a little bit better than that though. Let's try it out. A very soft sausage. You know what, it actually does, the tomato sauce kind of hides it, but it really is very much like a Vienna sausage. There's not much to it. I think if it didn't have the sauce along with the beans, it'd be quite bland. The beans are good and the tomato sauce is good. I think this is the first time that I could really benefit from the Tabasco sauce, so we'll try out a little bit of this. I just noticed that the date code on this, instead of the standard 4-digit date code that you would find on a US MRE and all the components, this actually has a Best Buy the end of June 2018, BBE 0618. That's interesting. Let's just try a little bit of this on our pork sausages and beans. Oop, it's actually a lot. Mix that in a little bit. This is the jackpot right here. And I can smell it from here. It smells hot. Yes, that is hot. If that's too bland for you, the Tabasco sauce is definitely a nice addition. Overall, I really like this. It's a really nice entree for a breakfast. There's nothing wrong with getting stuff like muesli or oatmeal, but this is nice. I mean, it is like a meat-based entree, and I like that. A good hearty way to start the day, if you choose to have it for breakfast. Let's try this cereal bar here. Yeah, it's very much like a standard like we have in the U.S. The soft oatmeal bars, chewy oatmeal bars. And it tastes just like it too. Very good. I can't say I'm getting a lot of the caramel flavor, but it is tasty. I'm sure the caramel's in there, I'm just not specifically tasting that. But that's a great thing for breakfast too. Try some of this coffee. It tastes fine. It's certainly a serviceable instant coffee. I'm sure people in England would have a better idea of the difference between Nescafe and this one, but to my non-coffee drinking palate, it tastes like perfectly good instant coffee. While we're at it, try some of the tea too. I had that with the lunch, and that seems to be fine. As I said in part one, all it says on here is Great British Tea since 1903. It doesn't give you any specifics as to what kind of tea is in here. Yeah, we do have enough creamer and sugar for all the coffees and teas, but I don't think we'll need it for that one. So we're going to try the Fruit Explosion, which is kind of like a beverage and also kind of like a side. I'm going to have a little bit out of the package. It is very much like applesauce. It's a puree. Maybe a little bit smoother than some applesauces, so it's more like a drink, but as you can see here, it's not totally liquid. These all have apple in them, so obviously they're basically it's an applesauce-based beverage slash food. Yeah, it tastes good. I mean, basically it tastes like applesauce. Kiwi and passion fruit. I don't know if I'm really getting that out of there, but this is very tasty either way. And I did have a boiled sweet with the first meal, so I guess I'll skip that for now. And I'll also save the dental gum because we're about to have another meal. And you know what? After this being the first thing I mixed up, I completely forgot to try out the tropical beverage. Let's see how that tastes. That's good. It definitely, first off, pineapple. That's the first thing I get out of it. There may be some other tropical fruit flavors in there, but really all I'm getting out of this is pineapple. And if they just called this a pineapple beverage, I would have been happy with that. It's very good. And as I say with a lot of these international rations, the simple fact that you don't see this in US MRE makes it a little bit different, and it makes it good. So that was a look at the breakfast from the British 24-hour ration pack, and now let's take a look at dinner. Alright, we're going to have 3 beverages with dinner, and 2 of them are the ones that take 500 mils. We have the cola flavored drink powder with sugar and sweeteners. And we also have the hot chocolate flavored drink type regular. And I like how polite the instructions are on this. Cocoa-based beverage powder to prepare a hot chocolate drink. Please mix with 500 milliliters of hot 80 degrees Celsius water and stir. And I also like the name on this, Schoppe in Schultz. Sounds kind of familiar. I'll start with the cold one. I'm really interested in seeing what this cola flavored drink tastes like. It is brown. It does smell like cola. It doesn't look like much. Kind of looks like apple cider. But I'm getting the aroma coming off of it. And it is a pretty familiar smell. I mean, it may not be cola, it may not be a carbonated beverage, but the fact that it smells like it and if it tastes like it, it's kind of nice for somebody that likes soda, like I do. I'm a fan of Coca-Cola, so I won't complain if it tastes like that. Dark brown liquid. And I'm sure the hot chocolate would be fine cold, since it does say to add hot water, we'll go ahead and do that. We have 500 mils of nice hot water here. Nice chocolatey smell coming out the powder. Pretty much seems to smell exactly like the US cocoa beverage powder. You just get a lot more of it. Good enough for at least one more cup in there. And might as well finish the beverages up with our Nescafe coffee. Smells good. And again, we'll go with the sugar and creamer. And once again, we have our 5 lime boiled sweets and our V6 dental gum. I should mention that there are 3 different flavors. I probably should have tried the one with breakfast, because this one is sweet menthol, and the one with breakfast was strong mint. So I'll make give both these a try at the end. And other than our hot stuff, that's really about all we have, which is why I decided to add the roasted and salted peanuts to this menu instead of the breakfast one. See if we have a hiss. Yeah, this is very tightly vacuum sealed. I didn't hear a hiss, but you can tell there was a nice release there. Good amount of peanuts. And that just leaves us with our hot dishes. We have the chicken and yellow curry with rice, 300 grams. Once again, this is probably going to be a little more than I can fit into this compartment here, but we'll see how it goes. Actually, it's kind of a solid thing. It's not in liquid, so maybe we'll all fit in here pretty easily. It looks and smells very good. Actually, it has a very similar smell to the Thai-style chicken soup. I think that's mainly because of the coconut, which they both share as an ingredient. We have chicken, potato, coconut milk, carrot, rice, sunflower seed oil, red kidney bean, yellow curry paste, and some other stuff. And our final item will be the sticky toffee pudding, which I believe is quite the traditional British treat. And that's what you want to see in a ration. If you're getting an international ration, you kind of want to see something that's representative of the country it comes from. And if you're a member of that country's military, one of the ideas behind a ration is as a morale boost to give you something familiar, a little taste from home. And I know that's something that I like to see when I review a ration. With these British ones, I was half expecting to see stuff like bangers and mash, toad in the hole, and bubble and squeak. But of course, Indian food is very popular over in England, so the fact that we got a Thai and an Indian dish with this one is very appropriate. And the sausages and beans for breakfast also seems quite appropriate too. But now we're going to check out what I believe is the most traditional thing in this meal. Without smelling it, it looks like the veggie burger and barbecue sauce from the US MREs. Let's see. Look at that. Now, one thing, since this is a ration, you don't necessarily want really messy stuff. Although it certainly hasn't stopped them from putting messy entrees into rations. And the fact that this one apparently is going to be quite sticky could make for a mess. Well, let's go ahead and try everything out. The yellow curry, like I said, you can definitely smell the coconut coming off of there. We have some nice chicken chunks in here. Yeah, some pretty good chunks of chicken. We got carrots that are visible. A lot of rice. I can see some, looks like there's some lentils. It's low on the ingredient list. And there's some beans here. Looks like a potato there. Yeah, this looks really good. Alright, it's very hearty looking. Let's see if I can get a little bit of everything into this spork, including a big chunk of chicken. Yeah, some of the beans, some of the carrot. Actually, I think let me get a little potato in there too. Some rice. That is very good. I think you can't go wrong with heating stuff, but I don't think this would be bad even if it was cold. I always say one thing with rations, part of the reason why I tend to give most rations a good review is because I understand this isn't something you would get in a restaurant. This is something that's packaged meant to last for at least a couple of years, if not many years. And you can't really hold it up to the standards of real food. But these British ones that I've had, just the ones in this ration, I was going to say that about the Thai-style soup, that if that came to me in a restaurant, served in a bowl with maybe like a little wedge of lime, I'm thinking I wouldn't think that was anything too awful. And this is very much the same way. It doesn't really have a packaged food kind of a taste. Maybe not quite up to restaurant standard, but it's delicious. It's really good. The chicken doesn't seem to be overly processed. If I had to pick the worst thing out of this, I'd say maybe the rice. It seems to be a little bit on the soft side, but it's being very, very picky. This is one of the best entrees I think I've ever had in a ration. I mean, look at it. You get these big pieces of carrot, get the nice chicken. And of course, being a curry, you expect some heat, and it does pack a little bit of heat. But like with most rations, they don't want to overdo it. For people who aren't big fans of spicy foods, which includes me, this is fine for me. It definitely has a little bit of a kick to it. But if you're looking for the real kick, looking for a real curry experience, you can always add a little Tabasco. Since I already opened this and tried it with the breakfast, I'll put a little bit on here too. I said, me personally, this is fine as it is. It really doesn't need any dressing. But they do give us the Tabasco, so let's try it out. Yep, that adds the heat if you're looking for it. It also changes the flavor profile, though. Instead of tasting like a curry, it tastes like Tabasco. This is one of those rare ration dishes that don't need to have the flavor change. It's very good on its own. I definitely recommend that one. Let's try out the coffee. It seems to be just fine. Just fine for instant coffee. And check out these peanuts. Kind of does give you a little bit more to eat here. Large peanuts there, a little bit of salt on them. Those are fine. And of course, this is one of those things that doesn't have to be part of the meal. It's probably better to keep it in your pocket for if you're out walking around, you need a little snack. Let me give the hot chocolate a stir and try that. That's good. Nice and chocolatey. Almost tastes like Hershey's. It's got pretty high quality chocolate. And despite the fact that it's made 500 mils, it's really good. It doesn't feel watered down. I was almost thinking of adding less water to it, but it's going to give you 2 really good cups of hot cocoa. And now I'm going to try out this sticky toffee pudding. And that's really good. That's quite rich. It's this dense, it's almost like a cake. It's pudding, but in the U.S. we have a different idea of what pudding is. But I guess this is a British pudding, and has this like caramel sauce over it, which is very good. Overall, this ration wasn't terribly sweet, but this kind of makes up for it if you're looking for sweets. And I'm gonna try this cola beverage too. I've never seen that before. I've seen a lot of different fruit-flavored beverages: lemon, lime, orange, grape, fruit punch, cherry, but I've never seen cola flavor before. As I said, it does smell like a cola, kind of like Coke. It sort of smells like a flat cola. It kind of tastes like a flat cola too. It's different. It's interesting. There's a little bit of a fruity kind of an edge to it, but it's good. It's a nice nice change. I think I kind of prefer the fruit ones, but I appreciate the effort they're making to put something different in there. Can't say I've ever heard of a cola flavored beverage before. I have to go for a little bit more of that sticky toffee pudding. I guess the what I was calling caramel, I guess that's the toffee, the coating. And you can see it is definitely a bonus to have it hot. But it's very hearty, and for dessert, that's one of the most stick-to-your-ribs things I've ever had in a ration. And let's finish up with some of this dental gum. I'm going to try one I missed for lunch. This one is the sweet menthol. It's definitely got that menthol thing to it. I don't know about being sweet so much, but it's good. It's definitely good to have something like this to clean your palate after you eat and freshen your mouth a little bit. Let's try the strong mint also. This is the one that I skipped at breakfast. Both very good. Not too much of a difference. This one might be a little bit stronger. I guess this one has the strongness and the other one has the sweetness. But they're both a mint kind of a gum. And I haven't used any of the alcohol-free antibacterial wipes, so why don't we check that out? Looks like it's going to be a large one. You only get 2 of these. You would kind of think with a 24-hour ration you get 1 for each meal. But I guess they, I don't know, maybe you have 1 in the morning and then 1 at night when you're done with everything. I guess you just have whenever you need it, but that's a big wipe. It'd be good for not only cleaning hands, but also being antibacterial. You can wipe down some of your utensils and stuff too. And we'll finish up by taking a look at one of these weatherproof matches. It's a nice touch having something like this in here, instead of your standard pack of matches. And until you open this is going to be nice and waterproof too. Let's see how this works on the striker. Well, pretty effective. Not going to last too long. Wow, that actually goes up pretty quick. Not a long-lasting match, but I'm sure the fact that it's weatherproof will be of help in the field. I don't know if they're waterproof or just windproof or what, but pretty hardy matches. So that was a look at 3 meals made from a British 24-hour ration pack, menu number 3. This was sent to me by foreignmre.com. As I said in the beginning, go ahead and check that website out and see if there's anything there you might want. They have pretty competitive prices, some of the freshest international rations you're going to find, and free shipping to U.S. addresses. So thank you to foreignmre.com, and thank you for watching.